Minimalism is a concept that often sparks curiosity, debate, and sometimes even confusion. In recent years, it's been depicted as a design trend, a fashion statement, or a bare-bones lifestyle stripped of any comfort. But beyond these cliches, the real essence of minimalism is much deeper and more nuanced. Let's explore 5 common misconceptions about minimalism and uncover what it's truly about. Misconception number 1. Minimalism means getting rid of everything you own and living with as little as possible. When people think of minimalism, stark white rooms and empty spaces often come to mind. There's a persistent belief that minimalists own almost nothing, that they've whittled their belongings down to just a few items, sometimes counting each one and sharing the number online as a badge of honor. But this isn't the full story. At its core, minimalism isn't a numbers game. Instead, it's about intentionality, curating your life so that what remains genuinely adds value. For one person, that could be whittling possessions down to the essentials, while for another, it might allow room for treasured collections or meaningful items. The purpose isn't to deprive yourself, but to remove what distracts or burdens you, making space for what matters most. The question isn't, how little can I survive on? It's, what do I need to create a life that feels full, not cluttered? Misconception number 2. Minimalism is only about decluttering physical objects. While streamlining your environment is often the most visible part of minimalism, it's just the tip of the iceberg. True minimalism is a comprehensive mindset that extends to how you spend your time, who you spend it with, the information you consume, and even the commitments you make. Are your days filled with obligations you resent or digital distractions that sap your attention? Minimalism invites you to be selective, not just with what you own, but with how you live. It's about letting go of mental clutter too, negative habits, draining relationships, and even outdated goals. Minimalism at its heart is prioritizing what aligns with your personal values, making room for growth, creativity, and presence in all aspects of life. Misconception number 3. Minimalism is a privilege for the wealthy, or just a passing lifestyle trend. Some critics argue that minimalism is only accessible to those with the means to choose what to own, where to live, or which hours to work. Others dismiss it as a trend, marked by sleek Scandinavian furniture and monochrome wardrobes, embraced by social media influencers for the aesthetic alone. While these criticisms point to how minimalism has sometimes been co-opted or commercialized, the underlying philosophy isn't inherently elitist or superficial. In fact, minimalism is practiced in many forms across the globe, often out of necessity, tradition, or personal conviction. Its real spirit lies in making intentional choices, regardless of your circumstances or surroundings. You don't need expensive objects or a certain style of home to be a minimalist. What's essential is your mindset and your willingness to align your actions with your true priorities. Misconception number 4. Minimalism means living a cold, joyless, or emotionless life. To some, minimalism conjures images of sterile spaces, lifeless, empty, and devoid of warmth or personality. But genuine minimalism isn't about stripping away all comfort or erasing what makes life enjoyable. Quite the contrary. Minimalists believe life should be rich with meaning. By letting go of excess, whether that's stuff, stress, or scattered attention, you create more room for joy, connection, and fulfillment. Your home or lifestyle can still be cozy, colorful, playful, and unique to you. Sentimental items, hobbies, and meaningful traditions have a place if they genuinely enhance your life. Minimalism's purpose is to clear away the noise, so the things that matter most can shine even brighter. Finally, misconception number 5. Minimalism is one size fits all, with strict rules and universal guidelines. If you've ever browsed online guides about minimalism, you might have seen lists of must-dos or hard limits, rules about how many clothes to keep, which possessions to discard, or how to decorate your home. This rigid approach can be intimidating or even unhelpful. The truth is, minimalism isn't about following someone else's rulebook. It's a deeply personal journey, shaped by your values, priorities, and circumstances. For one person, minimalism means a capsule wardrobe. For another, it's about dedicating more energy to family or carving out time for creative pursuits. There is no minimalism police, no arbiters deciding if you're doing it right or wrong. It's about finding the balance that helps you thrive and adjusting it as your needs and desires evolve. So what is minimalism really about? It's about intentional living, creating space for the things, people, and experiences that truly enrich your life, while letting go of the extras that clutter your mind and your days. It's about clarity, focus, and fulfillment. Far from being austere or restrictive, minimalism is ultimately an invitation to ask yourself what matters most and to shape your life, little by little, around your answer. As you think about your own relationship to minimalism, consider where you might have absorbed some of these misconceptions. Are there areas in your life where you feel weighed down not just by objects, but by routines, habits, or even worries that no longer serve a purpose? Minimalism encourages us all to pause, reflect, and let go. Not just for the sake of owning less, but for the freedom and focus that come from living with purpose. Minimalism isn't a finish line to cross or an aesthetic to achieve. It's an ongoing process of questioning, choosing, and refining. Sometimes that means clearing out a closet. Other times, it's setting firm boundaries, saying no, or making different choices about how you spend your time and resources. Through this process, discomfort often gives way to relief, then to empowerment, because you realize you're shaping a life aligned more closely with your vision and your values. There is no single right way to practice minimalism. The only essential is a willingness to listen to yourself, to tune out the noise, and to keep editing your life until what remains is exactly enough. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, buy more, or do more, minimalism offers a gentle challenge to ask, what is enough for me? ISO, and that answer is yours to discover.